Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the Paradigm Shift, episode 193. 193 weeks in a row, my goodness. We have not one but two dynamic, unbelievable, multifaceted, handsome guests on today. But first, Big Dave, bring you on. Right now, let's get this party started. See some phenomenal humans in the chats here. Love this. Let us know how you guys are feeling, what you talked about right now. Frankie, see you, brother. We're going to bring you on in less than five. Joe, what's up, buddy? Nice to see you, man. And where is Big Dave? Hope everyone had a beautiful Thanksgiving and that carrying over that frequency of gratitude all weekend, really all year. Big Dave, I see you. I feel you. All right. There he is.
I have no idea.
Hey, you.
Hi. What?
Hey.
Colleen's texted me saying that you were live, and I'm like, I cannot. It's not showing live yet. And so, thank you so much.
And yet here we are.
And episode 193. It's on fire.
193 weeks in a row.
I get to see your beautiful face and your elevated dew. It is an amazing haircut.
Oh man, 193. That's crazy. I'm just taking a second. That's a lot. That's
It's
nice
a lot. We're coming on 4 years. It'll be, when you take 4 times 52, that's 208. So we are 15 episodes away from 4 years.
Beautiful. I love it. We have two very handsome guests on today, not including us. Before we bring on Frank, how you doing? What are you most excited about right now, Uncle Dave?
Well, I will have to tell you, it's been an amazing holiday week so far, and I leave Monday for my final tour, going to DC for the Aspire tour with David Goggins and the boys, Tim Story, etc. Austin Eckler, hopefully he'll be healed to come to our dinner. And then I'm keynoting the Carnegie International meeting with thousands of people for Carnegie's Foundation and that effort of the Carnegie's guys at the Carnegie Institute. And then going back to DC to go visit the White House with my wife. And then going to London for a meetup. Then I get to go, super excited, to Egypt, and I'm taking an Egypt tour with Dr. Sean Dill and Lacey Book and Roy Kataya and Jamie Kataya, so 3 couples. And then I return for my last mastermind and VIP dinner of the year, SoFi Stadium Mastermind, December 17th, and then 5 days to organize for the new year, and off to Tulum with my family till the end of the year from the 22nd on. So that's what I'm most excited about. Business-wise, it's all Napoleon Hill Institute, January 11th. We are rocking and rolling. You wouldn't believe the names of the people reaching out to me to be a part of this extraordinary legacy. It's everything I dreamed of. So I'm blessed to be the chairman of Napoleon Hill Institute. Can't wait to get Craigie involved.
Same. Thank you for saying that. What you just mentioned that you're excited about over the next few weeks is probably someone, what they hope to do in a full year, if not 5 years.
Yeah, everybody has their own, harmony, and mine's a very active harmony with non-negotiables and negotiables. I don't go off the grid. I'm into productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, and that's my journey. And I hope everyone holds on and is committed to their journey as much as I am to mine.
Beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, we'll bring on our first guest. And while I do, I always like to ask you a little nugget. Something that I picked up from you at the last mastermind, which I thought was very profound, was it's your lack of commitment, not your failures, that will be the key to your downfall. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, you can't make enough mistakes, and so many people are afraid of mistakes. You can't make enough mistakes, but it's not the mistakes that cause the failure. It's the mistakes that cause the success. It's the lack of commitment. And, a superpower of yours, which I admire, is you don't lack commitment. Common denominator of all the billionaires, millionaires, entrepreneurs, celebrities, athletes, and entertainers that I've worked with over 35 years is they all have a desire that they must be what they can be, meaning they don't lack commitment. And so I try to help people. They're so afraid of the mistakes, they don't make enough of them, or they dwell on the mistakes and give meaning to the mistakes and interference to their divine direction. When if they just focused in on their divine desire that they must be what they can be and pursue their potential, they'd be a lot further along and a lot closer to where they want to be or better.
Beautiful. Frank,
Hey,
good morning, brother.
Frank.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Doing great. How are
Awesome,
you?
brother. You're here.
I'm alive. I'm here. I'm here to celebrate another beautiful day.
Nice.
Where are you, Frank? Where are you dialing in from?
I'm in Austin, Texas, but I grew up in Manhattan. I grew up down in Little Italy.
You don't sound like you sound like a Texan.
I'm East Texas. That's right. Whenever I speak, I say I'm from East
East
Texas. I get the crowd.
I'm from South Texas.
Yeah.
I want to just dive right into it. This is such a treat. For anyone that's not familiar with your work, Frank, I encourage our community to do a deep dive. One of the things that you talk about often is bouncing back and overcoming big obstacles and hurdles. It's well documented that about a year and a half ago, you had a heart transplant and you were very close to death, and now you're thriving bigger than ever. What is the key, or what is something that you do to bounce back and even bounce higher every single time you do face a challenge or obstacle?
To be honest, Craig, I'm in recovery. I'm sober over 13 years, and 13 years ago, when I started this journey of personal development, recovery, and growth, I made non-negotiables with myself that I was gonna show up in the man that I created, no matter what's going on in my external world. And that's what I did when I was in the hospital, brother. Like, I was facing my death. I literally did die, and they brought me back. But while I was in there, because of the man that I developed through personal development, through recovery, and through service of others, I had a vision of what my life was going to look like. And I had a vision to write this book. I had a vision to build my body back. And my only focus in the hospital, it wasn't poor me or victim. It was making that vision a reality. I was obsessed in the hospital with what I've accomplished over the past year and making it a reality. And it's through the non-negotiables. It's really through faith. It's through my personal development, and it's through the service of others that I've created this man. And because of that, I was able to respond in the manner that I did. Most people don't respond in the manner after you've had a heart transplant. And I didn't even know I needed a heart transplant. It was something that just came upon me out of nowhere. I had a cough for 5 months and went to 4 different doctors, specialists. Nobody knew what was wrong with me. So it was like, at that point, it was just me and God, guys. It was just me and God. And my faith is so strong, and I always believe that God and the universe is working in our favor. That if the universe wanted to take me at that moment, then that's exactly what it was supposed to be. I don't fight anything anymore. I'm off the wheel. I'm following the guidance of the path that's set in front of me, and I'm just walking.
Beautiful, brother. Thank you for sharing that. And non-negotiables, Dave. I know you're big on those too.
Yeah, well, the duality that's created in life that creates a contextual conflict is difficult for most people to understand. There's a oneness that Frank has learned, and he utilizes not only the wisdom that he has derived from the experiences that has challenged him, but I love the fact that he combines wisdom and faith that shortened that distance of resistance, whether it was the initial addiction that he is now in sobriety with, but the ideas, the wisdom within the context of personal development and growth that is required in order to stay sober, to overcome any type of addiction, usually leads to a great enlightenment of being a ferocious Buddha, of allowing the ferocious behavior every day of those non-negotiables. Because remember, to be consistent in those non-negotiables, those are simple things to do. Unfortunately, as all three of us know, the simple things to do are unfortunately simple not to do all the time, or simple not to do every day. And so just the fact that Frank utilizes the non-negotiables and, as I do, terms them in that way. It's no matter what every day. I just explained a pretty active schedule through the end of the year, but I don't go off the grid, because for me, I need to maintain my non-negotiables every day. Does it mean I have enough I vacation every day. So people tell me, oh, don't you go off the grid? Yeah, I go off the grid every day. But I'm also a ferocious beast when it comes to my non-negotiables of health first, family second, faith fourth, finance, and people tell me, well, Dave, you got to put faith first. I said, well, faith is kind of overlaying, but I research faith every day, right? Faith is part of my health. Faith is part of my family, but I study faith every day. So I know that I'm protected, promoted, loved, and perfected at all times, like Frank explained, not punished. And look, when I lost everything, which, was a difficult time, not nearly as difficult as having a heart transplant, but it was a difficult time. It was easy to feel punished and as a victim. I remember telling my Mom, why am I being punished? Because, I lost everything. I tried to be a good guy. I told her I don't believe in God. She said to me, son, you believe in God, you just believe in the wrong God. And that epiphany led me to a divine direction and allows all the detours in my life to be divine. Like Frank, he just gets it. And, whatever he does, he's going to live in a purposeful, passionate, and profitable way.
Yeah, beautiful.
And Dave, honestly, this year, going back to what you just said, I had bad business dealings and lost all of my income this year, $500,000 in
Yeah.
income. But you know why? The universe is always working in our favor. It's never victim. It's always victor. It's always the comeback. Let's go. So what did I do? I bought into another substance abuse and mental health facility. Whenever something leaves, it's supposed to leave our life. It's because there's better that's in there for us. So that's what's happened in all this process in the past 18 months is the universe has literally taken my heart, given me a young woman's heart. We're all connected. I have a young woman's heart in my chest, 19-year-old girl. The universe removed people, business, but it's brought in so much more. It's brought in so much more because the universe and God is always working in our favor. And why is that? Because I believe it is.
That's beautiful. And I have a 19-year-old daughter, so if you ever need to understand your emotions, feel free to call me.
Listen, Dave, I cry like every day now. I have the masculine and the feminine. So
That sounds like a 19-year. That sounds
I
like a
have feminine
19-year-old girl.
DNA now, so it's like in the worst of situations, and this is what I like to tell people, is that one of our strongest emotions in life is hope and belief. And for me, I want my story to be hope for others, to create the belief that no matter what you're going through, whether it's finances, whether it's health, whether it's addiction, whether you grew up in traumatic experiences, you can overcome. Let me be the hope to give you belief that you can do and overcome whatever it is that you're willing to overcome. And I knew that in the hospital, guys. If you read my post in the hospital, I said, God is again using me as a vessel to be able to uplift more. Because it was just recovery before. I was able to speak on a podium with recovery, but now I feel like the universe, God, put me through all this so that I could actually spread the message more to the masses, not just to people in recovery, but to anybody that's struggling with anything.
I love the certainty consciousness, and I think it's a timely conversation at this time of the year when it seems like sometimes people are exiting your life and so forth, and I believe that that happens so that Creator God, Universe can make room for bigger and stronger vessels that can help you in a better way to take you to the next level, and that's just a good reminder for anyone that's feeling sad or some people are exiting and so forth. It's like Dave would say, it's propelling you, promoting you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And guys, again, like I started to write a book in the hospital, like in the worst of times. I could have been a victim. But I said, let me start writing this book because if I die, I want my son to know what his father went through, how he developed the man that he was, so that he had a blueprint. Because for me, the most important thing in my life is my son and his future generations. And I didn't know 13 and a half years ago when I was getting sober and developing this new human being that none of this had anything to do with me. It had everything to do with my son and his future generations and creating a whole new paradigm shift for him and his future generations because I come from a different background than most. I grew up in Little Italy and organized crime, and I had to learn a lot of the stuff that I was taught, and I had to put in the new iOS program and download that so I could give it to him. And that's been my main focus in life. Like looking back, we don't realize when we're doing certain things in life, uh, that it's a bigger purpose. Like getting sober was not even about me. It was about my son, and it was about the world.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love it. We're going to bring on our second guest in a minute, but I wanted to ask you one final question, Frank. Um, Moving over a little bit to the practical, you're so good at setting big goals and coming up with practical ways to chase them. Another good timely conversation as we get towards the new year and so forth. What is something that you do practically to set and smash goals?
Oh, well, I write them down, brother. And I have a vision board in my gym, in my garage, which I work out and look at every single day. So it's right in my face. So I am obsessed with it every day. I also practice 369. I believe in creation. So I'm throwing the I ams out there. It's the creative words of the universe. So I'm practicing 369. With all my goals, I put them as I am statements as if they've already been here.
Beautiful. Pretty straightforward. Frank, where's the best way for our communities to get involved, support you, maybe follow along on the journey?
Sure, Frank Parisi 2011 on Instagram. You could go to Amazon. It's a bestseller, Embrace Abundance. You could also go to my website, frank-parisi.com. I also want to plug in my brother, Jason Turner. He's my business partner. We have a PHP, IOP, mental health and substance abuse for adolescents and adults down in San Antonio, Texas. It's innovative. We're changing the game. So it's been a blessing in my life and super grateful for that. Dave, I'm also going to be in DC with Darren. So I'll see you on Tuesday, brother.
Yeah.
Looking
Also,
forward to meeting you in person. And
I'm gonna be
Craig, I'm
back.
going to be up in New York in January, bro. So I gave you my number if you want to link up. I grew up
I
down
would
in
love
Little
to.
Italy.
That's
I would
awesome,
love to.
Frank. I'll be in San Antonio the day after the Aspire tour. I'll be down there for Carnegie. So if you're coming back home the next day, let me introduce you to some of the Carnegie guys.
Oh, dude, I'll definitely come down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's hook up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
I love that.
Frank,
I love
I'll
that. Cool.
connect with you offline too, and we'll grab a coffee when you're in New York.
I
We'll
love
link
Coffee.
it.
up.
I love it, guys. Thank you so much for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. Great
We love
connection.
you, man. Congratulations.
Thank
Keep
you,
Love
up
you,
the
guys.
great
buddy.
work.
Have a
Have a
great
good
day.
rest of the day.
Take care.
Hey, Craig, they call coffee Dr. Pepper where he's from.
That's gonna be tough to beat, but I
I'll
love the
grab you
show
a
so much.
coffee. Let's get a coffee.
Coffee. That's how you know.
I'm
Speaking of
California.
handsome,
I drink tea. I'm Californian.
yeah, I bet there's
Uh,
tea in that tea though.
look at
There
it.
he is.
Look at this smiling face. I think
Save. How are
he's
you?
frozen.
Too much
I think he's
energy.
frozen.
Yeah, I see that. But I'm sure it's only temporary.
Yeah. Well, too much energy blocks the internet. Just so you
I
know. So
understand.
anyway, ask me a question while we bring our boy on.
Okay. How do you look younger every time I see you? What's your secret?
Well, it's my wife. You're only as old as the person you're married to. So I keep getting younger because she keeps getting younger, and she makes me younger. And you'll learn that because you have an extraordinary wife like I do. You have outkicked your coverage like I have, and you will find that behind every amazing man like Craig Siegel is not only an amazing woman, but an amazed woman. She is so surprised that we can walk and chew gum at the same time or make anything positive out of our lives because they know everything about us and they continually are amazed that we can function, let alone function at a high level. So I find that people discount how important it is to have that liaison between you and your family, you and everyone in your life. And so for me, an intimate partner is a must. Loving and learning to love what you don't like and don't love, and other people don't like and love is a must. And also buying the best bed you can find. A third of your life is spent with your family and friends. A third of your life is spent in an activity that you don't like or love, and a third of your life is spent sleeping. And so if you're not focusing on those three things in the context of the four necessities that you need to live, remember, if you're going to prioritize things in a harmonious journey, no matter what your divine direction is of what you want or better, we need to focus in on four things first. These are non-negotiables. Number one, sleep. If you don't sleep, you die. Two, breathe. If you don't focus in on your breathing, you don't breathe, you're dead. Nutrition. If you don't eat, you're dead. And hydration. If you don't drink, you're dead. I think human nature and human experience has elevated an awareness to what's truly important, what truly should be your non-negotiables. So if you're not focusing on the basics first of what it takes to be alive, meaning the sleep, the breathing, the food, and the water, then you're missing the harmonious opportunity to live in a divine direction, to see the protection, promotion, love, and perfection of the detours that you have, and even furthermore, to live in divine time, as Craig Siegel's learned to do through his Kabbalic nature. And it looks like we still have internet problems, damn it.
Yes, but while we're getting that sorted out, I just wanted to acknowledge you. One of my favorite pieces of wisdom that you shared with me over the years is in regards to relationship, whereas you used to get mad and no longer do with the shit that doesn't really matter, like the shoes are on the staircase or something that's so irrelevant. But guys like you and I, with our personality, we could turn that into something, and now just don't, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I just, we have a friend came to me and was wants me to do some things for him, and he was teasing me, and he's like, "Yeah, Craig Siegel loves you like a brother, but he says you bust his balls all the time." And then he got super scared that I would get mad that you said that. So you're like, "Oh, but Craig loves you." I'm like, "Look, if I'm a coach, my methodology of coaching, don't coach with me if you don't want me to be annoying. If you don't want me to be honest and repetitive, then I'm not your coach. If you want someone to suck your ass and tell you how great you are as a coach, maybe go to Craig Siegel or somebody else that's nicer than me, but you're not going to get the distance of achievement that you need." I come from old school Vince Lombardi football coaching. You got to be annoying. And look, I have a trust and a love in the people that I work with. They know that I'm only pushing them for the positive protection, promotion, and love that they deserve in their life. But yeah, I took it as a compliment when our friend told me that. They're like, "Yeah, Craig says you're a ball buster." I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I am." And I always tell people, if I'm not calling you, if I'm not pushing you, then you should worry, because it means I don't give a shit about you. If I'm pushing you to be better, that means I love you.
Yes, I don't remember saying that, but it is the truth. I always speak the truth. And I told you one time on a coaching call, you remind me,
After you were crying.
you remind me of the guy from Whiplash who won the Academy Award for pushing his students so much, almost to breaking point, where he had no choice but to expand and become the best version of himself. And I love
How
it.
many movies are about that? Like, how many movies are about? There's a new one out, The Fire Inside, about the woman boxer.
Oh, it looks
Uh,
great.
yeah, and that's what they pushed. Look, we have limitations, and the limitations that we have are based off of our own self-image. So if I am not trying to increase your imagination or your self-image, one of the biggest compliments that I told one of my law professors one time, he didn't believe. I'd been late back to Greece. I'd gone to the Bolshoi Ballet, snuck in, walked across the stage with the symphony when I was young. And I told this story while I was late back to Rhodes in Greece to study admiralty law, oil and gas law. And he's like, "Mr. Meltzer, why are you late?" And I told him the story, man. I met these beautiful girls. We snuck into the Bolshoi Ballet in Athens. I walked across the stage, and he literally like, "That's bullshit." And I told him, I said, "Professor Force," I said, "when my reality surpasses your imagination, that's a sad day." And I see so many times that people, they don't even have the imagination to get to a reality that's actually attainable in their own lives. But anyway, oh shit, man, this internet thing, this man has too much energy.
I agree. I know if it doesn't work now, we'll have to bring him on for another one. But you
Hey,
mentioned that,
look, we're gonna be here every week, so
yeah.
nobody ever has to worry. If they can't
Uh,
get on, they never have to worry.
yes. Real quickly, I went to see Gladiator 2. Different conversation. I was a little disappointed. I saw the trailer for that women boxing movie and it blew me away. I'm so happy that you're familiar with it. I can't wait to see it. Is it out yet? Do you know?
I think it just came out. I want to see Moana 2. I just saw Wicked. Wicked
What do
is
you
a
think?
must. Wicked's a must see.
I
I
loved
saw it
it.
on Broadway.
I
I loved
loved
it.
it.
Took the whole family. I'm a musical guy. My wife makes fun of me because I love musicals. I love the greatest musical ever created was The Greatest Showman. Any entrepreneur that doesn't like The Greatest Showman, you shouldn't even be an entrepreneur. By the way, you should be ashamed of yourself. You could call yourself an entrepreneur if you don't like The Greatest Showman. Because P.T. Barnum, he's the epitome of an entrepreneur.
There's a whole chapter in my book called The Greatest Showman. I could not agree with you more. Alessia is too badass to like musicals, so she makes fun of me too. And I also loved Wicked. I thought it was awesome. I didn't even know it was part 1 of 2, but I can't wait to see part 2.
Yeah. Julie calls me her wife when I go see the musicals. She's like, my wife David likes to go see the musicals, and I'm like, I love the musicals. And Wicked had me in tears. I don't have a 19-year-old girl as a heart, but I definitely have some feminine energy that allows me to be empathetic. And when they had the dance scene in Wicked, I was bawling like a baby. So it touched me.
That was awesome. When she was going like this,
Yeah.
and they became friends.
Yeah. Oh. Anyways, I felt like you and I together.
I know. Well, it looks like we're going to have to bring Safe back for a future episode. But before we hang up, you've done so much, Dave. This year alone, you continue to go like this. When you're thinking about the next year, what is your process? I know you got the Napoleon Hill stuff for going to a whole nother level for you personally. Like, are you looking at impact, money, really everything in between? Like, what is that process for you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, right, there's milestones, and I go ahead and set milestones of evaluation. So when we talk about end of the year, end of the month, end of the week, these are milestones of evaluation, not emotional connected places where people create resistance. So I don't have divine direction towards I need to do this by the end of the month, but I will say I'm going to evaluate by points of reference, weeks, months, and years, in order to quantify the progress that I make. And so one of the things that I'm going to focus in on, obviously my mission is to empower over 1 billion people to be happy, to find 1,000 Craig Siegels out there that will empower 1,000 Craig Siegels to empower 1,000 Craig Siegels, to make a lot of money, to help a lot of people, and to have a lot of fun. And I try to simplify things because I always say, if you know your shit, you should be able to articulate it in a simple manner. So one of the things that I am focused in on that is a newer nuance of the propulsion of the protection, promotion, love, and perfection in my life is the quantifiable value of emotional expense. And so I've created a new column in the analysis in the evaluation in these milestones each and every week, month, and year in order to effectuate a progress, a quantitative differentiator between what the emotional expense is of coaching Craig Siegel, or what's the emotional expense of doing paradigm shift every single week for 193 weeks, which is only 15 weeks away from 4 years, and we haven't missed a week. So for me, it's understanding a variable that so many people don't analyze or evaluate, let alone not attaching my emotions to an outcome of a date, week, month, year, but instead to use that as a qualitative, evaluative milestone, and now include the column of emotional expense in a quantitative manner so that I can decrease the amount of emotional expense and also prioritize things that actually add to an emotional asset, not an emotional expense.
I think that's brilliant. And you were unpacking this a bit at the mastermind in New York, and we're talking about employees and stuff like that. And the way that you articulated it's extremely important, and it's something that I'm going to measure just as important as anything else moving forward. And I love that you've added that, but obviously make it so digestible. Everyone should see Wicked. Everyone should go see Dave wherever he's speaking next. Where are you going to be this week? I know you kind of.
Yeah, I'll be in Washington, D.C. at Aspire, San Antonio at the Carnegie Annual International Meeting. I'll be back into D.C. at the White House and doing a meetup. I'll be in London doing a meetup, and then I will be touring Egypt on a cruise down the Nile and to see the aliens and the pyramids and everything in Egypt. I've never been to Egypt. It's one of the few places on earth I've never been, and I'm going with the fantastic couples. And then I come home. Remember, everyone, come to the end of the year, the last mastermind and VIP dinner for us, December 17th at SoFi Stadium. Our offices and training center is at SoFi Stadium. I think we got another 7 years on our lease. So we'll be doing this for a while. But please come join us in DC, San Antonio, DC, London, Egypt, if you can catch me, and finally, SoFi Stadium. Craig Siegel, I love you is an understatement. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you next week.
Love you too. Say hello to the family, and we'll chat later offline.
Adios, amigo.
Bye, guys. Have a great weekend. Safe. We're going to bring you on for a future episode since we couldn't get you on today. Love you guys, and thank you, Frank. Everyone check out all the great stuff he has going on. Have a great rest of the weekend, guys.